Welcome back, strangers. On 24th of July, 1989, a helicopter dispatched to find two missing hikers that came across a giant SOS sign that was made using birchwood. The tree trunks were arranged into letters spelling out SOS in English. Each letter measured about 16 feet long and 10 feet wide. The SOS was located about 2.5 miles from the summit of Asahidake. The helicopter circled the area surrounding the sign until they discovered the missing hikers about 2 miles north of the SOS sign. The rescue team successfully recovered the hikers, but when the two missing hikers were told that had not been for their SOS sign, the rescue may not have been successful. The hikers were puzzled because they hadn't created the SOS or any kind of sign. They had no idea what the police were talking about. This caused the police and rescuers to launch another search of the area. The area around the sign was searched, and the next day, rescue workers found a human skeleton with animal gnaw marks. The skeleton was a male with type A blood, and he had broken a few bones prior to his death. A backpack was found about 165 feet north of the sign, buried in a hole just large enough to fit a single human under some tree roots. Found containing 3 cassette tapes, a Sony tape recorder, and some basic toiletries and other supplies. Things that were found on the tapes for the Sony cassette player, 2 of them were soundtracks for anime, and the other had been recorded over. I wonder which anime they were. When they played the tape in the tape recorder, there was some noise along with a male voice yelling very slowly, "I can't move from atop this cliff. SOS. Please help. I'm near where the helicopter was originally, and I can't move further due to a bamboo brush being in the way. Please get me out of here." The police were unable to tell exactly why he had decided to record his message in the way he did when there was no way to transmit it anywhere else. Among the pile of belongings that were found was an ID card of a hiker that had gone missing about 5 years prior. The hiker had been staying at a nearby lodge and told the lodge owner that he was going on a quick hike. The owner had reported it when he failed to check out and left his belongings behind. He had mentioned going to climb Asahidake Mountain. The police had speculated that he climbed up and got it lost. After his skeleton and belongings were finally found and his family was contacted, his parents were able to confirm that the backpack did belong to him, but they were not so sure who the person on the recording was, and they could not say if it was their son. Another mystery was the SOS sign itself. It was made of large logs, approximately 5 meters at the longest point. They were 3 logs high, and it was odd to think that a dead man would have been able to move all of them by himself in the state that he was in. There was also no axe, knife, or tool found in the surrounding area that could have been used to cut the logs to make the sign. So we have a pile of bones, a missing hiker's backpack, a recording from another person asking for help in that backpack, and an SOS sign made out of birch trees that were somehow made by a person who may or may not have had broken bones without any tools. Many people have theorized that the man may have used a cassette player as a way of calling for help if he was out of breath and lost his voice. After all, the battery would outlast you yelling. However, some of the people the Japanese side of the discussion have pointed out is that there's almost no background noise in the recording. You would assume that someone yelling for help on a cliffside might result in a little more reverb or wind, or even a helicopter that he's referring to in the background. So, what do you think happened to the unfortunate hiker? Why did he make the recording? How did he make the SOS sign? Was it all an unfortunate accident or something more sinister?
I think maybe the recording might have been pre-recorded. I mean, it's kind of weird that it was there and it didn't reflect the sounds in the background.
Yeah, the no background noise in the 80s on a tape recorder, that sounds, I mean, from someone that records audio a lot, you get a lot of background noise, even in a well-soundproof area. So, I mean, being outside, I think he definitely pre-recorded it at the very least.
I mean, did someone kill him and then cut the SOS sign there? Because the SOS sign's giant, and it's written in English, so it's really just SOS. I mean, luckily the sign did save other people's lives, but who knows what really happened to the hiker. That maybe he did have a tool to cut the stuff and got attacked by animals, and the animals like drug away the tool along with something else, or maybe like clothes or something, and that's why it was never found. But I don't know, the whole situation has so many little things that are just unexplained and just, they don't add up, and it's just unsettling.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they found those guys and they didn't make it. It's just like, oh no, that wasn't us. Who made the SOS sign? Was it that guy we killed last night? I don't know, it's pretty wild.
So what would you have done in this situation? I think if you're recording something on a thing that couldn't transmit, you might have said your name or what had happened instead of just like what he said on there.
I would have just been like, my recording would have been like, well, you're probably wondering how I got myself in this situation. Well,
Record scratch.
it all started. But no, I don't know what I would do. I'm not a very outdoorsy person. I would have just probably died. Until next time, stay strange.